Who's the best top laner? This champion is broken. What champion can carry low elo? Over the years, the League community has been fixated on the balance of a champion. It's all about how mechanically intense a champion is, can a champion 1v9, is this champion worth playing, but we have never asked the true questions. And one of these invaluable questions are, which champion is the stinkiest? Before we get down to the rankings, we need to understand smell. Smell is the first sense you use when you were born, and 1 out of every 50 of your genes are dedicated to it. Surely that shows the sheer importance of the sense already. We are going to base our rankings based on the lore of each champion and what society generally agrees on what a good and bad smell is. I'm sure by just looking at this image you think this smells bad, and looking at this image you think it smells good. So the first champion we are going to analyze is Yumi. Yes, this is a rather odd champion to start with. You would not think about Yumi when it comes to smelly champions. Let's just say this is a personal vendetta of mine. I really don't like Yumi. Yumi is a cat, and cats are rather hygienic animals. They do often lick themselves clean with their own tongue. They even have hundreds of tiny hooks on their tongue, referred to as the lingual papillae, and this is used to clean up dirt and help them stay clean. Furthermore, Yumi can talk. This is shown when she communicates with multiple champions. However, she can't read according to the lore. She can only understand the thoughts of her book. So let's just say she has below average IQ compared to a human. She can basically understand that she needs to clean herself or she's gonna stink. She can also use her book to teleport to wherever location she wants to go. So I can imagine she teleports to somewhere quiet or safe so she can clean herself up. Which is why I'm going to rank her pretty low when it comes to stinkiness compared to other champions. Now let's assess Tahm Kench. First of all, Tahm Kench is referred to as the River King. Now that already brings in negative connotations. Rivers are notoriously stinky, often described as smelling like raw eggs. If you watch the lore video for Tahm Kench, you can see his river looks very dirty, so he already lives in a stinky environment. He's also referenced to be a demon, and he looks like a catfish. So essentially, he is a demonic catfish. The catfish is noted to have unpleasant, muddy aromas due to being bottom feeders. They basically eat all the stuff at the bottom of the river. The food that they consume have chemical compounds such as geosmin and methylsobronials, which contributes to the catfish's stinky odor. And demons are obviously stinky, they don't like cleaning themselves. So overall, Tahm Kench is a very stinky champion. Possibly the most stinkiest champion in League of Legends. So I'm going to rank Tahm Kench very high when it comes to stinkiness in League of Legends. So now we're going to be talking about Singed. Sinj has devoted his life to pushing the boundaries of knowledge by doing stuff like wicked experimentations and just using chemicals overall. His lore shows him experimenting with chemicals on live patients, which give a very torturous description. If we look at Sinj's appearance, we can already tell he's very stinky. The bandages covering his face and body looks very odd. Possibly a few decades. He looks frail and wrinkly and his clothes is basically torn off. You can tell he definitely does not wash himself. In addition, he does work with chemicals in his very unhygienic lab. Going back on the description of him experimenting on his patients, they describe his equipment as very rusty. Let's assume, since he experiments a lot, he has selenium and tellurium compounds in his lab. These are some of the stinkiest chemicals to work with in a lab. They have a musty metallic smell that sinks into your skin and makes your breath reek. And since this is Sinj we're talking about, he probably has other chemicals that stink far worse. So now he has very stinky breath, his body probably stinks even more since he isn't washing and he has chemicals all over him. He's one stinky boy. He probably produces and smells that we have never seen in our life. So he's probably far worse stinkier than creatures like Tahm Kench. So I'm gonna rank him really high, even above Tahm Kench when it comes to stinky levels. Now, let's talk about Maokai. Maokai is a tree, so he shouldn't smell too bad, right? Well, he isn't any ordinary tree, he's pretty mythical, so he could produce stuff that's not usually produced on trees, such as truffle fungus or even celery cytoplasm. These produce chemicals called androsternomes, and to a lot of people, this chemical smells like sweaty urine. Now, sweaty urine does not smell too pleasant, so I'd say he is pretty stinky, but not the stinkiest, which is why I'll rank him above Yumi but no one else. Now let's touch on Yorick. Yorick is an interesting one, since he isn't the smelly champion, but everything around him is smelly. Yorick is a monk, and monks usually do have good hygiene, but now the mist is always hovering around him, and he can now raise dead bodies that follow him as well. The mist and maiden are just more undead souls and dead bodies that keep following him, so essentially there's always dead corpses and this huge mist that keeps following him around. Not to mention the mist destroys everything it goes past, so I can imagine that being very stinky. So Yorick is in a state of stinkiness every time. which is unfortunate since he isn't a stinky individual, but now he continuously has rotting corpses following him around. And for that I have to rank him pretty damn high in stinkiness, and I'll put him right above Kench, just from the sheer quantity he has in terms of stinkiness. If it were just a 1-to-1 comparison, of course Kench wins it, but yeah, Yorick has hundreds of dead corpses, you can't beat that. And the mist as well, don't forget about that. Alright, so we're on to Zac now. Zac's a pretty hard one actually, since the origin of Zac is that he was created from a toxic spill, and usually you think toxic chemicals do stink. But later on, he does get adoptive parents, and then he lives with the parents, so if he's stinky, how do the parents let him in the house? And these parents are humans, by the way. So maybe it could be an odorless toxic chemical, but then again, he could adapt to his situation and he might pick up the smells from his environment. Zac often travels around the city of Zorn through pipes and open tunnels, so possibly he could pick up smells from there, because Zorn is a pretty stinky place, it's a very chemically induced city. But then again, he isn't human and he doesn't pick up smells like humans do, he's just a toxic waste. So what I'm going to say, since it's a hard one, he can live with his parents and his parents doesn't complain about the smell. I'd say he isn't exactly stinky, maybe he might have a bit of a chemical odour, but not too stinky, so I'm going to put him slightly below Yumi. Since there are some chemical smells that don't smell that bad, and there's always a chance it's made out of odorless chemicals that are toxic. And finally, let's talk about Twitch. Now Twitch is a rat, and we know how dirty rats are. To make it worse, he's a chemically enhanced plagued rat that lives in the sewers, and is quoted in the league lore as connoisseur of filth by passion. Twitch is pretty much a sentient rat that looks for dirt. He does what a dirty rat likes doing. He swims around the sewers, he likes going through people's trash, he likes eating trash, and he just likes trash overall. He's even quoted as saying he wants to spread trash to all humans, to show how trash they really are. So yeah, the whole point of Twitch is that he's the trashier of trash, and he's obviously gonna stink a lot. But is he the stinkiest champion in League of Legends? Well, if he was a normal rat, I would say no, but he's in fact infected with Zorn's toxic chemicals, so he's on Singe level, except he's actually consuming the toxins, so his whole existence is basically toxic, and it's exacerbated by being in the sewers, spreading the disease and catching even more toxins. You know, rats already carry many diseases, well, it's just been amplified with all the toxicity. So there's no way he can't be the stinkiest guy in League of Legends. I give Twitch the stinkiest creature in League of Legends award, number 1. Congratulations. So that's the end of the video. What do you think about the list? Do you think I got it right? Of course, I didn't list every champion. There's other champions out there that stink as well, like Yorick or even Urgot. But this is just a general list, and I think Twitch is number 1, no matter what anyways. What do you think? Leave a comment, let me know, and thanks for watching.
We shall prevail. We have eternity.